you have obviously worked with some amazing talent throughout your career, but in this one, you get to star opposite Kevin Costner, Diane Lane. I mean, those scenes just, what is it like working with them? Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's crazy. I still like, even like every time it gets brought up, it's just like kind of mind blowing. Something that I've learned, something I learned from being on set with them is they really, they take their time. Um, they listen to everybody, and it's a very, I don't know, they're not stubborn. You know, they're not like set in their ways on like, this is how I do it. It's very just like a very fluid. It's very easy. They listen to each other. Um, Even if they don't agree with the note, they listen to it and then, you know, give their piece back. But everything is done like, it was a very like, no one was talking loud. It was a very like quiet set, very easy, relaxed.
I was gonna say, I think that even comes across in the film. Like
Yeah.
everyone, there's that demeanor is there.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
And now for you, obviously you spend a lot of time on this movie on a horse. How comfortable were you with horses beforehand? You know, I follow you on Instagram. I see pictures of you with horses all the time. I'm just curious, like, is that from this movie or, you know, do you have that experience?
So I grown up on a ranch. Um, I'm here right now,
Okay.
and yeah, so definitely my whole life I've been around horses.
Okay.
When I was younger, I kind of had a love-hate relationship with them, just because when it's something you're always around, you like don't actually realize how amazing it is. You know what I mean? Um, but in recent years, I've gotten very close. My horse Rimrock and we are very close, and he's a great horse.
And for you to be able to film in this kind of environment, I guess it is an environment you grew up in, but it's got to be different from obviously a lot of the other projects you've done.
It's honestly a dream come true. Like I I don't know. It's yeah, to be, I remember when the first day I worked was this first scene you saw me in, where I'm like looking in the car and I get up on the horse. It was kind of it was an interesting thing to do with the horses too, because around a horse you don't want to act frantic. You don't want to, but the scene was, oh my God, get on the horse. And so the horse was, you know, being a horse, you know, great horse. It was a beautifully calm, amazing horse, but still like it knows like that I'm like, and so it's like, and but you know, just the fact that like I had been around horses, and obviously Kevin Costner is a horseman, and
Yeah.
you know, his energy to the horse, and our wranglers are so amazing. It was just such a, yeah, I don't know. I think people who work with horses have a extra sense of like patience.
No, you look very at ease on them and in this movie. But even in general for you, it does seem like more of a mature role, especially coming off of, you know, the three Descendants films, Julie and the Phantoms. How
Yeah.
is it straddling that line between, you know, the more youth-focused work and something like this?
I think it's really fun. I think you have to do things where you just go and play and have a really great time.
Yeah.
And you have to do things where you really dive in and through the eyes of someone else experience a lot of like what the abuse would have been like and trauma of their past. And so I think it's really, that's the cool thing about acting, is that you can go back and forth. And I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do that.
And I mean,
I'm
for
so
you
happy.
having your fans kind of grow up with you as well, are you
Yeah.
starting to see like that difference in the projects they're being drawn to seeing you in?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. And, you know, it's kind of funny though. Like, if people like something, they kind of like that forever. Like Twilight, like literally so still, like so much stuff from Twilight. Everyone's like, I love Twilight. It's like, you know, that movie came out like a long time, over 10 years
Yeah, I
ago.
was gonna say it's 10 years for your debut.
Yeah, for me, 10 years since I was in the movie, and I was in the third film. But I'm so thankful. Like it's very cool to see people grow up, but also it's amazing to see how like people just And me too. Like I mean, Blade has been my favorite superhero since I was like 8 years old or something, you know?
Right? We all have our things.
Yeah.
And you bring up Twilight. It has been 10 years since Eclipse. Thinking back on all the fandomonium from when you first started, is there like a highlight from it and then something that you're glad you're not in the middle of anymore?
That's funny. A highlight. Highlights.
I mean,
Gosh,
you guys traveled around the world doing
yeah,
that.
it was crazy. I think the highlight for me would have been my first day on set.
Yeah.
They had cut my hair. It was short because my hair was long before they cut it short for the movie.
Yeah.
And so it just felt so new and so fresh and so just like you walk on this humongous set and I was in Canada with my dad. It was just like this whole, everything was just so new. And that was probably that's a moment that I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I specifically remember like walking to show one of the producers my hair because it had just gotten cut to make sure that it was right. And then something that I'm glad it's done. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. It was really fun and I would totally do it again. Like it was great.
And now looking ahead, I know fans have been really eagerly awaiting information for Paradise City, especially, because it is Cameron Boyce's, I believe it's his final role to be released. Is there any update there? And what do you think fans are really going to be either excited to see or really happy to take away from it once it drops?
I haven't had any updates on it yet. It's just been hard with this year and everything.
Yeah,
honestly.
I know everything's a mess.
Yeah. I'm surprised our movies are coming out. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Yeah, it's something I think that people will be excited to see. I think just the level of growth in the story on how everybody's lives have evolved in the story and how much, even though American Satan was very, obviously, I mean, it's a film for adults and or older community. Not for Julie and the Phantoms crowd, but the level of maturity that I think the TV show has from the start of the film is much greater, just in how the storylines have ventured out and how they've progressed.
Okay.
And even in the music too is much more, it's matured a lot too.
And, are you drawn to these movies that really do have, obviously it seems like you're very drawn to movies where you can be musical, TV shows, Descendants, Julie and the Phantoms, this one. I mean, what is it about that? And how much more energy, I guess, does it give you to be able to perform?
It's actually really funny you say that because I have been against every single time I get an audition to sing or something. I'm always like, no. Like so it's actually so funny that I keep doing these parts. To me, that's never like a key factor. It's just the material itself and the people involved with it. And I guess, I that's so funny you say that because literally, like whenever something comes up where I'm have to be singing, in my head, I'm always like, no, I don't want to.
Not again.
I'm not good enough. Or no, not again.
Okay.
But it's just like I don't think I'll be able to do it.
You have the doubts.
Yeah, and then somehow.
And then my last question, going off of Julie and the Phantoms, people always, when there's the Netflix show, we want to know when the next season's going to drop. Obviously, we'll find that out eventually. But what are you hoping you get the chance to do should it get a second season?
I mean, of course, I want the relationship of Willie and Alex to expand.
Yeah.
To unfold into like an actual solid relationship. But we're saying that it'd be really great to dive deeper into the past on what happened with Caleb and Willie, the owner of the Hollywood Ghost Club, because the more we know about their connection, the harder it will make Willie and Alex's relationship to actually happen. And so then there's the obstacles and all the clashing of minds and everything, which I think would be really exciting.
Which makes a good TV show.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Stay safe out there and have a good one.
Thank you so much. I'll see you.
Bye.